Tired of the negativity? Looking for a shot of optimism? Well, I have an inspiring story to make you smile right after this. This episode of Misfits and Crackpots is brought to you by the Well-Crafted Story Workshop. Struggling to connect with your audience and attract new clients? Transform your speaking skills at the Well-Crafted Story Workshop with Coach Jimmy Hayes Nelson and yours truly, Dr. Danny Brissell. In just 2 days, master the art of crafting compelling speeches that convert listeners into clients. Whether in-person or virtual, you'll get personalized attention in an intimate group, learning not just from expert coaches, but from fellow entrepreneurs. Don't let another opportunity slip away. Get your free story blueprint today at wellcraftedstoryworkshop.com and turn your story into your most powerful business tool. Your success starts here. Visit wellcraftedstoryworkshop.com now. You're just a well-crafted story away from 7 figures. Hello there, my friend, and welcome to Misfits and Crackpots, short, inspiring stories for busy people. I'm Dr. Danny Brissell. This is a podcast for those interested in extraordinary stories about ordinary people and companies. Consider it your dose of positivity and inspiration for the week. Molière wrote, "The greater the obstacle, the more glory in overcoming it." This week's success strategy: welcome adversity. Mariel Margaret was born with a partial clubfoot. It was a shock to her parents. After all, Mom had been a ballerina. She once performed pirouettes with a grace that would leave others envious. How could their daughter have a clubfoot? Her siblings had all been born healthy, and there were a lot of them. Mariel Margaret was the fourth of 6 children. They moved around a lot. Dad was a fighter pilot in the U.S. Air Force. To be a fighter pilot takes drive, and Mariel Margaret's dad had plenty of it. Not to be dismissed is the discipline, patience, and flexibility of military families, who endure an unending stream of relocations in locales around the world. Living like gypsies, their belongings packed and unpacked with a regularity that would dizzy most, the family moved wherever Dad was assigned for duty. From one Air Force base to another, across states and even continents, the family moved in lockstep with their father's assignments. Home was a concept defined more by the people around them than by any fixed location. While challenging, this nomadic lifestyle instilled in young Mariel Margaret a resilience and flexibility that would serve her well in the years to come. Each new location brought with it a fresh start, new friends to make, and new environments to explore. For a child born with a physical challenge, this constant change could have been overwhelming. Instead, it became a crucible in which her adaptability and determination were forged. No parent wants their child to feel pain, and Mariel Margaret's parents were determined to see that their little girl received the best treatment possible. Specialists were consulted, and treatment plans were devised and implemented with military precision. The tiny toddler found herself navigating a childhood punctuated by doctor's appointments, fittings for corrective shoes, and the application and removal of casts designed to guide her foot into proper alignment. And when they eventually took off her cast, something magical occurred. Mariel Margaret could run. With her newfound mobility, Mariel Margaret threw herself into the world of sports with feverish enthusiasm. Her father, always a proponent of physical activity, encouraged all his children to participate in athletics. For Mariel Margaret, this encouragement fell on fertile ground. She discovered in herself a natural athleticism that seemed to defy her earlier physical challenges. As the seasons changed, so did the sports Mariel Margaret pursued. From basketball in the winter to track in the spring, softball in the summer and soccer in the fall, she was a year-round athlete. Her quiet demeanor off the field belied a fierce competitor who emerged the moment she stepped onto any playing surface. Mariel Margaret held her own and then some, whether she was competing against girls or boys. So it came as little surprise to anyone when Mariel Margaret joined a boys' football team in 7th grade. It was a decision that raised eyebrows in some quarters, but her teammates welcomed her without hesitation. After all, they could see the girl was good. Gender became irrelevant in the face of her ability to contribute to the team's success. To them, Mariel Margaret was just one of the guys, which was fine by her. She knew that would provide her more time to spend with her older brother, Garrett. She idolized Garrett. He, too, was a natural athlete who competed in multiple sports, excelling in several. But there was one sport in particular where he truly shone, and it was through watching him that Mariel Margaret began to focus her own considerable talents on soccer. The moment Mariel Margaret stepped onto a soccer field, it was clear to everyone watching that something special was happening. Her coaches were astounded by the natural instincts she displayed. Despite her lanky frame, she moved with a grace and speed that left defenders in her wake. What truly set Mariel Margaret apart, however, was her understanding of the game. She played with a maturity and tactical awareness that far exceeded her years. It was as if she could see the patterns of play unfolding before they happened, always 2 or 3 steps ahead of everyone else on the field. This combination of physical skill and mental sharpness made her a force to be reckoned with, and word of her ability spread quickly throughout the soccer community. That is how, at age 15, Mariel Margaret achieved something unprecedented. She became the youngest player ever selected for the U.S. national women's soccer team. It was a tribute not only to her exceptional abilities, but also to the hard work and dedication she had poured into her craft. The little girl who had once struggled to walk was now sprinting past some of the best players in the country. As Mariel Margaret's soccer career blossomed, so too did her academic pursuits. She enrolled at the University of North Carolina, a powerhouse in women's soccer. Over the next 4 years, she would lead the Tar Heels to national championship after national championship, cementing the school's reputation as the hub of women's soccer talent in America. Her time at UNC was marked by broken records, accolades, and a growing recognition that she was not just a great player, but potentially one of the greatest to ever play the game. Throughout her college career and beyond, Mariel Margaret continued to represent her country on the international stage. She was a key member of the U.S. women's national team that captured 2 World Cup championships, performances that catapulted women's soccer into the national spotlight. Her play on the field, characterized by blinding speed, pinpoint accuracy, and an uncanny ability to be in the right place at the right time, inspired a generation of young girls to take up the sport. By the time she hung up her cleats for the last time, Mariel Margaret had scored more international goals than any other player, male or female, in the history of the sport. But it wasn't just the numbers that made her special. It was the way she played the game, with a combination of skill, intelligence, and sportsmanship that earned her the respect of teammates and opponents alike. Perhaps the crowning moment of her illustrious career came in the summer of 1996 in Atlanta. There, under the bright lights of the Olympic Stadium, Mariel Margaret and her teammates captured the imagination of the nation as they surged to a gold medal victory. The image of her racing across the field, arms outstretched in triumph, became an iconic symbol of female athletic achievement. More importantly to Mariel Margaret, her beloved older brother Garrett was there to cheer on his little sister. He had been diagnosed with aplastic anemia, a serious condition that was slowly robbing him of his vitality. His presence in the stands that day made the Olympic gold medal around her neck shine even brighter. Indeed, the embrace they shared after the game, captured by photographers and broadcast around the world, spoke volumes about the bond between them. Tragically, Garrett passed away the following year. In the aftermath of her loss, Mariel Margaret found herself alone one day, idly flipping through television channels. By chance, she stumbled upon a live broadcast of her team, the U.S. women's national team, playing a match. As the camera panned across her teammates, her closest friends and chosen family, a poignant sight struck her. Each of her teammates wore a black armband in Garrett's memory. The gesture hit her like a tidal wave of emotion. In that moment, she realized that while she had lost her brother, she still had a family, one that extended far beyond blood ties. These women, with whom she had shared countless triumphs and hardships, were standing united in her grief. This powerful display of solidarity stirred something deep within her. It rekindled her passion for the game and reinforced her sense of belonging. With renewed determination, she made a silent vow to continue her journey with the national team. Her resolve was twofold: to honor Garrett's memory with every match she played, and to stand shoulder to shoulder with the teammates who had become her sisters in all but name. This would fuel her commitment to the sport for years to come. It transformed her loss into a driving force, pushing her to new heights of excellence on the field and deepening her bonds with her teammates off it. By the time of her retirement, the humble superstar who the wider world came to know as the greatest women's soccer player in history would be known to her teammates as simply one of them, a sister-in-arms who happened to be exceptionally gifted at putting the ball in the net. They affectionately called her Jordan, a nod to another UNC alum known for his otherworldly athletic abilities, Michael Jordan. The nickname was apt, capturing both her unparalleled skill and her humble approach to the game. But to her family, the people who knew her before she became an icon, she's still the little girl they watched take her first running steps after the cast came off. They still call her by the childhood nickname that has followed Mariel Margaret Ham from Air Force Base to college campus, from World Cup finals to Olympic podiums: Mia. See, friend, inspiration is all around us. You just have to look for it. Thanks for listening. Join us next week for another inspiring story about misfits and crackpots. Misfits and Crackpots is a production of Success Media, produced by Terrence Wishner. Sound effects by Alessandro Lucati, courtesy of Pixabay. Thank you for tuning in. If you loved today's story, there's so much more to explore in the book Misfits and Crackpots by yours truly, Dr. Danny Brissell. Grab your copy now on Amazon and dive deeper into the extraordinary lives of those who dared to change the world. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share the podcast with fellow misfits who love inspiring stories. See you next time.